Hello, everyone. It is Monday, August 10th. Welcome to another episode of Together San Diego. I'm your host, Luis Cruz, Community Relations Director for the San Diego Union-Tribune. Today, I want to introduce you to our community journalism scholars. We have 7 students participating in this year's program. 6 of them are able to join us this afternoon. I'm going to let them introduce themselves to you. And we also have my colleague, Michael Price, who oversees the program. And I'll let him talk about what he does at the Union-Tribune and a little bit about the program as well. All right, welcome everyone. Let's start with introductions. Tell me where you go to school, where you plan to go to college, and what you would like to do after college, if you know. Faye, let's start with you.
Hi, I'm Faye Chan. I go to Sarah High School. I'm going to be a junior there in the fall. I've always wanted to go away for college. I've never moved houses, so I've never left San Diego. So I've always wanted to go away for college, and I really hope to go into the media field and hopefully be using writing as a way to elevate others, the voices of others, and also learn how to apply my voice professionally.
That's great. That's great. Let's go down the line. How about you, Rachel?
Hi, I'm Rachel Hudak. I'm going to be a senior at Westview High School. In the future, I plan to stay in California for college. I want to study political science and communications, and kind of just see how journalism is going to affect my future is what I plan to do.
That's great. All right. I was a poli-sci major as well, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. All right. Jordan, how about yourself?
Hi, my name is Jordan Premer. I go to Otay Ranch High School. I'm about to be a senior. For college, I really want to stay in California, hopefully go to a UC school, and there I'd probably be studying journalism or communications because in the future, I'm really interested in news and news anchoring.
Okay, great. Let's see, Martha. Why don't you introduce yourself? I think Martha is paused again. Maybe, perhaps. I think we can hear you, Martha. Martha, go ahead. If you can hear us, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. You can hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry for that. I'm Martha Contreras. I'm going to be a rising senior for Pacific Ridge School, and I'm planning on studying international relations, studying Spanish, French, and also having a major or minor in journalism. So that's my plan.
All right. Sounds like a good plan. All right, let's skip over Michael and let's go to Hershawn. Hershawn, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Harshawn Rattenfall. I just graduated from Rancho Bernardo High School, and I'll be studying journalism at the University of Missouri in Southwest right now.
All right, great. And Angel Santa Maria.
Hi, I'm Angel Santa Maria, and I'm going to be a senior at the San Diego School of Creative and Performing Arts. For college, I'm hopefully going to be accepted to either UCLA or UCSD. As for plans for the future, I want to major in psychology. However, after college, I'm still kind of figuring that out.
All right, well, you have some time. All right, Michael, tell us what you do at the Union-Tribune and tell us a little bit about the Community Journalism Scholars Program.
Well, I wear a couple different hats at the Union-Tribune. I am the design director, so I oversee the art direction and design of all of the print publications that the Union-Tribune produces. So that would include the daily newspaper, our Spanish language newspaper, the various magazines that we produce, like Coastal Living and Pacific Magazine. And I have a staff of 9 who participate in that. I also am work very closely with overseeing the output of the Sunday Union-Tribune, particularly the live sections of the Union-Tribune is one of my major responsibilities. And then I also 9 years ago, developed this program with some colleagues, the UT Community Journalism Scholars Program, which allows us to every summer bring aboard intern-like high school students to try to introduce them to possibilities of careers in media. And so they get kind of a dual exposure to both classroom-like learning in what journalism is, what reporting is, what journalistic writing is, and then also the opportunity to practice it and get published while they're with us. And thanks to, over these 9 years, a grant from the Semper Foundation through SDG&E, we have been able to fund wages for these scholars, these high school interns, to work with us and get paid during the 5 weeks that they are with us.
That is awesome. This has got to be one of the coolest summer jobs, don't you think?
Yeah.
All right. So tell us, students, what have you been working on over the last several weeks? Faden, you want to go first?
Yeah, so we started out with news writing. So we wrote some news stories, and recently last week we covered a Board of Supervisors meeting, and now we're working on a story about how certain communities are coping during the pandemic.
Okay. And let's see, we have, so it's my understanding you've all worked on this version of the story. Is that correct, Rachel?
Yes, that was when we got to look at the Board of Supervisors meeting, and we chose an item and looked into those and got to register.
Okay. All right. What else would you say you've been working on over the last several weeks? Yeah, Hersan, go for it.
Yeah, so when we first started, it was a lot of going over the fundamentals of journalism, and a lot of important topics like how to manage your bias and certain things about grammar and style of how to write journalistically. And then we extended it into going and writing about the same topic, all of us, and comparing how to write about a certain topic, whether it's a news or feature story. And now we've been giving kind of a loose outline of what to cover. For example, how COVID has affected certain communities within our area. And then we're given the liberty to go out and find a story that applies to that. So like for me, I'm writing about how newspapers at high schools have been affected by the distance learning that's going to be for the next semester.
Okay. And you also had an opportunity to interview some of our colleagues. That's right. Hersan, you talked to our colleague, Jeff McDonald.
Yeah, that was a great experience talking to and listening to someone who's so passionate about what they do.
Anything surprise you about Jeff?
Again, just like his dedication to just his output of work and the quality of that, and just hearing him talk about it and how, like, for example, I come from Rancho Bernardo High School. We have a very small newspaper. There's not a lot of people to talk about these kind of things with, but we're talking to someone about the issues that are, for example, like affecting our community as a whole and journalistic community. Just talking with someone about the things I'm so interested in like that was great to do.
Right. Martha, let's move over to you. You've had a chance to interview one of my favorite people over at the paper. I love all of them, but work with Dana Littlefield. What was that like?
Yes, of course. I mean, for me, I just knew that this was going to be a very interesting woman, and so I was really excited to interview her. And she was just so humble, so passionate, and so dedicated to her work. And so it was really, I mean, she also had a lot of funny stories, but to me, it was just really inspiring to see how much she has accomplished and how she has been such an amazing leader. And at first I was talking to her, and obviously like she was telling me things and I was coming to realize this, but then I really came to notice this through my second interview with Lindsay. And she was telling me more about, because she had worked under Dana for 3 years, under the public safety beat. And so this is when I really realized, oh, okay, like Dana is definitely someone who's special. And just the way that she's energized, always ready to dive into a story and help all the people around her. And just, to me, that was something that inspired me.
That's great. That's great. Anyone else want to talk about some of the folks that they've met over at the UT?
I'll go.
Rachel?
I got to interview Chris Reed, who is the opinion and editorial writer at the Union-Tribune. And being able to interview him with his years of experience was something really inspirational to me. And he was very open to giving me advice for the future. And just being able to talk to him and seeing his motivation in what he does was really cool to see. And just being able to talk to so many people that work at the Union-Tribune has been super inspirational and worthwhile to be a part of that. Yeah.
That's great. Jordan, you got a chance to talk to Wendy Fry.
Yeah, I did. Honestly, talking to Wendy Fry was super inspirational because she showed me what it really means to want to be a voice for someone, because she wants to be a voice for people who can't be voices for themselves. I found her to be really inspiring, and she was really open to me and honest with me about, I didn't necessarily put this in the story because it didn't necessarily fall underneath exactly what I was focusing on, but she did teach me about the difficulties that'll come with being a reporter for such a difficult beat. And she talked about how sometimes people are going to criticize you, and you just have to understand that everyone's going to have their opinion on you, and you need to just step away from it and realize that you did what you had to do as a reporter.
Great. Angel, who did you have a chance to speak with?
I talked to the immigrations reporter, Kate Marcy, and I honestly loved talking to her. At first, we had a sort of Q&A session with her, and I decided I wanted to learn more about her since I myself am an immigrant, so I wanted to see how she kind of delved into that beat. And she kind of surprised me a lot because she actually does so many things. She does like breakdancing and the arts, and she knows so many languages, and she's traveled all around the world, and she's sort of taught me that even if you have this, even if she's a reporter, she still ties in all her hobbies and gets to do what she loves to do.
Great, great. And Faye, you got a chance to talk to Morgan Cook?
Yes, I did. So I interviewed Morgan, and she was just wonderful to talk to. She gave me really great advice, and hearing about her work was just really inspirational because she really downplayed how much work she's done. But it was talking to Jeff McDonald, who's also one of the reporters who works with her a lot, that really emphasized just how hard she works and how much she values her job, even though it does get difficult sometimes.
All right. And we should mention that Kate, who's also in the program, interviewed my colleague and friend, Alejandro Tamayo, who oversees our video department. And Kate's not able to join us today, but I want to bring up this picture because I had the pleasure of taking it when I worked with Alejandro up in Los Angeles. So small world. Tell me a little bit about what are some of the things that you've enjoyed the most over the last few weeks? Yes, go for it, Angel.
I really enjoy just getting to know all the types of reporters, since we get to, have a Q&A session with maybe a data reporter, and then we had Kate, who was an immigrations reporter, and it was so interesting to find out how diverse the sectors of journalism was, because I didn't really realize how, they have to find a story in a sort of spreadsheet of data, and it was really interesting to see, what you can get into if you get into journalism.
Martha?
Yeah, so I was going to say basically the same thing, how we've been able to meet so many amazing people, and we've been able to learn so much about this profession. and how big of a responsibility it is, not just as a job, but as a part of this democratic society, and how we have such an important role to provide this information, which is objective and fair back to the public. And to me, that's been very eye-opening, and it's definitely something that I want to pursue. And it's also the ability to practice journalism, not just learn about it, and actually go out and report and talk to people and write stories and have our amazing editors, Michael and Charlie. Like, that's just something that I'm very happy to be a part of.
Is there something that has surprised you about journalism? Jordan?
Me?
I was really surprised by how fast paced it is. And also I was just surprised that I was able to keep up with how fast paced it is. I remember when we had to write our first story, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to take me a million years to finish this. And it didn't end up taking that long at all. So I guess that was really surprising. And also it was something that made me happy. So.
Anyone else surprised by the last few weeks? Hershan?
It's surprising, and then also kind of like mind-blowing is looking at the cause and effect of these, like the work these reporters do. Like, for example, on the Watchdog team, reporters like Jeff McDonald, Morgan Cook, Charles Clark, like looking at the work they do, the things they report on, and then seeing the actual effect that can have in the community, whether it's just awareness or, actual legislative changes made to the system when these people put the hard work they put in.
Yeah, it's a big responsibility. Anyone else been surprised by something over the last few weeks? All right. Well, what would you say? We've talked about some of the things you've enjoyed the most. What would be, I guess, advice for other young people that maybe want to participate in this program, next year? Rachel?
I would so advocate to come and be a part of this program, because in just 3-4 weeks, I've already learned so much about who I am as a writer and what my voice is. And come in with an open mind to learn a lot, because there is a lot of stuff to be said from the journalists that we get to talk to. And just being a part of this for such a short period of time and seeing the growth that I've had is something I think a lot of other young journalists should come be a part of.
Great. Any other advice, Faye?
To go off of what Rachel said, it's just a really great opportunity to learn how to use your voice professionally. And I've seen a huge difference in my writing from the beginning of the program and now, and I'm sure there's still like 2 weeks left of the program. There's still so much more that we will be covering, and I'm really excited to see how my writing has grown and the writing of my other classmates from the program.
That's awesome. Martha, I think you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that this program gives you so many opportunities, and to really, like Rachel said, keep your mind open, because the more open you are, the more you're going to get out of it. And really, you can get so much out of this. So.
Great. Anyone else? Jordan, did I see your hand come up?
Yeah, it's really important to know that when you're receiving criticism, it's nothing but good things. I have received criticism on things that I've done, and it's made me so happy because I've been able to grow as a writer. The first draft compared to the final drafts are always so different, but you see all of the steps that you had to take to get that final story that the people are going to see, and that's kind of the most rewarding part.
It's awesome. Angel?
I would just like to say, if you are thinking about doing this program, to not be scared of doing it, because when I first heard like, oh, you might be working with the other students to collaborate on articles, I was kind of scared as someone who's kind of introverted and shy, but it's a really encouraging environment, and you get to learn how to trust in your own abilities, since I never thought I'd be able to turn around an article in less than an hour, and we've all done it, and it's such an amazing thing. And Michael and Charlie are such great mentors, and they always tell us every every day that they're proud of us, and it's very encouraging and nice to hear.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hershan?
Yeah, just real quick, I think it's a great opportunity to learn more about your county and your community. And as far as journalism programs go for people our age, it's one of the best you can get. First of all, it pays. The rest of them are trying to cheat you out with an unpaid internship. So this is UT really cares about its county and its employees. And you can tell that when you join the program.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for saying that. Michael, what do you think of the students that you've mentored over the years?
Oh my, over 9 years. Well, that must be, we've had different numbers every year, but I'm trying to put a total number on it. We probably have had 70 high school students go through the program, I guess, over that amount of time. And if you go back to that first group, which would have been in 2012, I keep in touch with a lot of the kids who've gone through. And let's see, I've got two from that first class that are practicing journalists now, one in print, one in television. I have another who is now an attorney. I have one who is now a lieutenant in the United States Marine Corps. And I've told the students, we've had students from the program end up dating each other and what have you. So I'm proud of them all. They've all gone off to great colleges. Not everyone has elected to go into journalism or even study journalism, but students from the program have gone to Harvard, Yale, Dartmouth, all of the California schools, Notre Dame, Boston University, Arizona, Northwestern. I'm sure I'm leaving some out, but like I said,
is there something?
Years.
I know you used to be a professor at some point. Is there something that surprises you about working with high school students?
Surprise! Well, yeah. Just looking at it 9 years. I mean, when I was a college professor for 10 years, and so I would start working with upperclassmen. Most of my work as a professor were upperclassmen. And to see the level of maturity that is now in young people, even at such a young age as high school, it has definitely been a change. Students just seem to be more knowledgeable, more courteous, and more mature the more that I've worked with them. And then, of course, I'm just so technologically savvy. When we were starting this program, we had to teach technology as part of it. We don't really even have to do that anymore because it's just so ingrained in young people today, how to use the technology of social media as well as the physical devices on which, the platforms on which it's shared.
And again, we should mention that this program is made possible thanks to a generous sponsorship from SDG&E and Sempra Energy. And just very impressed each year by all the students. Is there anything else any of you would like to add before we go? Any shout outs to anybody while they're watching? There you go. Don't be shy. All right. Well, like I said, always very impressed by your work, and people can read your work at SanDiegoUnion-Tribune.com/journalism-scholars. That's where you can see all the cool work. Michael, is their work also published in the paper?
In late August, we will be publishing a special section in a Sunday edition of the Union-Tribune. We do it every year, and that special section includes 2 stories written by each of the students. One is a profile of one of the other students in the program so that you can learn a little bit about the backgrounds of everybody who participated. And the other is what we call their final project, which ties in every year with SDG&E and the Semper's Foundation's theme for giving in that particular philanthropic year. In the past, they've been subjects like STEM education, innovation. This year it is social justice.
All right, great. All right, looking forward to that as well. In the meantime, again, people can log on to San Diego Union-Tribune.com/journalism-scholars. Well, thank you all so much for joining me this afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for having us.
Thank you.
Yes, it's my pleasure,
Thank you.
and definitely keep us up to date on everything that you're doing. This is awesome. And thank you at home for watching. Have a great day, everybody.
Have you heard the news? There's a global health crisis going on right now. It's a deadly and highly contagious virus. They call it COVID-19. I'm Bill Walton, here with a challenge to all of you. We're having a contest sponsored by our San Diego Union-Tribune. Send us your ideas for different public service announcements, PSAs, or maybe your idea for a print ad or a social media video, whatever your means of communication are. And show us your thoughts on how we can all help stop the spread of COVID-19. The winner with the best idea gets $2,500. And I'm one of the judges. I'm talking to you. Wear a mask, practice social distancing, wash your hands, and be proactive on your own health.
Until we have a vaccine, masks and social distancing really are the best way to bend the curve. So next time you go out into public, remember, wear a mask. It's not about politics, it's about common sense.
We can stop the spread. We just have to distance, wash, and wear. We've got to stop the spread together, San Diego.
Together.